Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion with Dr. Hillary Carter, an audiologist. So there are lots of hearing devices or hearing aids out there. Where exactly does someone start?
That is a great question. I will say it's very challenging to try and negotiate and figure this out completely on your own. It's definitely best to let a professional help you. Anymore, there are a lot of devices that can accomplish some of the same things, but it's still, there's different little pieces of the devices, there are features of the devices that can be more particular for certain individuals than others.
Okay.
And I think having a professional help you navigate that and figure out what's best for you is the best approach in that.
So a hearing professional would examine you before they even determine, or before anyone could determine what exactly the right device for you would be. Correct.
Yes, your hearing loss and your lifestyle are going to have a bearing as to what's going to be most appropriate for you. So somebody with the same hearing loss may not be recommended the same device depending on what their lifestyle is and what their needs are. Everybody's needs are a bit different. Everybody's budgets are a bit different. Mm-hmm. So it's important to really have an open conversation with the person you're working with and feel comfortable in that conversation, because that's how you're going to get the best for you of what you're needing and the best treatment option.
So how does lifestyle weigh into that? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so lifestyle is going to come into play a little bit of really into the bearing of the cost as well. But somebody that is more at home, just needing to hear the TV and needing to hear their wife or spouse at home and not doing a lot of activities may not need the same device as somebody that's in and out of meetings all the time and in social environments frequently and needing to hear in those different environments. So those people would have different devices to really meet their needs most appropriately.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about the different devices, how they, just generally how they might differ, how they look, how they work?
So anymore, the devices, there's a big range of devices. And I will say the looks of them have gotten so discreet and so small that most people are not noticing them nearly as much as you used to be able to notice them. There are behind the ear type of devices where the whole unit is going to go behind the ear with a thin wire or tube going down into the ear canal, or you could have the entire device in the ear canal, and some of them can go quite deeply into the ear canal as well, so they're really quite invisible. And then of course there's all kinds of in between. There are still some of the older styles available if somebody is just really comfortable with what they've had, but anymore there's a wide variety of styles that might be appropriate. The style can have a big bearing on the sound quality and what you're noticing as far as the sound goes too. So the hearing loss can help in a little bit of knowing what type of device would be most appropriate for that particular hearing loss and individual.
And technology comes into play too. I mean, iPhones, and how they interface with that. Can you talk about that? That was unique. I had not heard about that.
Yeah, so anymore with iPhones, we can have a direct connection to the hearing aids. So the hearing aids become a headset for the iPhone. So your phone calls come through both hearing aids and stream through so you can hear them very clearly and directly. Even better than sometimes people without hearing loss.
Oh, wow.
And then in addition to that, there can be an app that you can actually make some adjustments to it. So it could be extremely simple of just a volume control. It could be more detailed, depending on what you're needing and wanting. Some people are overwhelmed with some of those thoughts and ideas, and some people love them. And that's where definitely it's good to talk with somebody to figure out where do you fall on that and what are your needs for that. If you don't have an iPhone, their apps are still available for Android market at this point. And at some point, they are definitely working on getting the phone, the streaming going through the Androids as well.
Very intriguing.
Yeah.
So talk about insurance a little bit. Does insurance generally cover the cost of hearing aids for folks?
So most insurances do not cover the cost for hearing devices themselves. They do typically will cover for the hearing testing. It is a medical thing to have a hearing test done, so that is where we're not always looking for hearing loss specifically just to fit hearing aids. There's a lot that goes into what are we looking at as far as this individual goes and as far as their health goes, and how is the hearing impacting that? Is there some signs of other medical conditions that we're seeing with the hearing loss? Is there something else we need to look at medically, or is it purely just more of a presbycusis or a hearing loss that just needs treatment of hearing aids? So that portion is covered by insurances, but most don't cover for hearing aids. It's more rare, although it's always worth a call to check.
Okay.
Worst case they tell you is no, best case maybe there is some.
Sure, absolutely. So if a person does get a hearing test and decides they do need a hearing aid, they can be expensive. So are there any financial assistance programs or anything that can help with folks to obtain a hearing aid?
Yes, and it's a great conversation to have with that professional because they are going to be aware of what may meet your needs better. So being open and honest with that is very helpful. There are financing options, so you can have extended payments, some with interest and some without. In addition, there are some organizations that are available to help out. So the Lions Club is one that sometimes will help out. There's a Starkey Hearing Foundation, which is a hearing aid company. There's different criteria that need to be met, but again, that's where talking with a professional can really help and figure out what would be most appropriate for your needs and what avenue to kind of look at.
Wonderful. So in your experience, all the folks that you've gotten to see and help, has it really affected their activities of daily living? Have you noticed that with folks that have been able to get a hearing aid working for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the most common things I hear from people is how much they are more involved in their life and how much they're maintaining that level of involvement that they want to maintain, which is wonderful. You never want somebody pulling away and not doing the activities that they want to be doing because they're not hearing as well. The other thing that's common for people to say is it's so much easier than they thought it was going to be, and it's not as, I'm going to say, obtrusive.
Yes.
People always are concerned. It's like others are going to know I have a hearing aid, and they're very turned off by it. They said the invisibility of them and the ease of them is a lot less than people expect and think, and it becomes so much easier. And I think one of the biggest things also I've had people say is, you know what, I feel more relaxed because I'm hearing easier, and it's just a more enjoyable experience.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
We want to thank you for tuning in this week and see you next week. In the meantime, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.